It's fine to be thinking about saving energy, but we have to be thinking about saving money at the same time. If we can save energy, we will save money, and so we need to focus on both simultaneously. I think one of the big outcomes of building a smart energy community is that it's a community people want to live in first, and this simply adds to it. People are looking to shop for homes, they're looking at ours, they're seeing that we offer more for the same price, and that more is the promise of a predictable energy source at a predictable price with a regulated utility, and they're buying.
I think smart energy relies on intensification of buildings. We committed to Markham Centre, where we're standing right now, several years ago to make it much more intense compared to previous developments in Markham.
The key ingredients of making the City of Markham a success are ensuring that you have a planning policy framework that will sustain itself over time, because long-term plans take a long time to put in place. So a policy framework that people can work with is really, really critically important. A foundational piece of that obviously is to have an infrastructure strategy and a financial strategy that can accompany the policy plan. And that financial strategy helps support a long-term investment that needs to be made in this community, whether it's to invest in the utilities, to invest in the infrastructure, to help invest in stimulating development to occur. And so those are really key ingredients to success.
Co-locating work and services in residential mixed-use development is really critical. It's critical not just to the comfort and enjoyability of our lives, so we're not stuck in traffic and not using more energy. I mean, we're using 4 times as much energy as our parents per person and 8 times as much as our grandparents. If you want to reduce the cost of living, then actually realigning our energy. I particularly like York Region because it is moving. If you look just out here on Highway 7, you'll see an integrated route that has capacity for cars, a bus rapid transit system that's separated from traffic but well integrated into the urban environment. You'll see a cycling path along there, dedicated cycling lanes, and you'll notice that the frontages in Markham and Richmond Hill are all being changed to be pedestrian friendly, non-auto-centric development that's really people-centered development where people in the adjacent neighborhoods or by transit or by bicycle can easily get to retailers.
A smart energy network is characterized by 3 distinct elements, and that first distinct element is multiple fuels. So unlike many of our conventional energy systems that focus solely upon electricity, heat, or natural gas, smart energy networks bring together all 3 and perhaps potentially other fuel sources or fuel vectors as well. A second element is integration. First of all, integration across these different fuel types I'm talking about. Also integration across the different parts of an energy system. A more explicit concentration on the fact that you've got to think about not supply in isolation or demand in isolation, but the way the 2 of them can work together, or at least should be analyzed or considered together. And then a third element is with regard to the smarts, if you will, the information and communication technology. Let's use the data that are now available because of cheaper technology, cheaper processing abilities. Let's use those data to analyze the system and give players in energy systems the ability to make choices that make sense for them.
I see the role of electricity in the smart energy network being almost foundational. I believe if we move forward collaboratively, we bring other forms of renewable generation and indeed other sources of energy to the table, we can build smarter energy networks as opposed to smart grids, for example, which are predominantly electricity based. We're about to launch a microgrid pilot demonstration project at our own head office, which was originally constructed several years ago with some renewable generation in the form of a small windmill and 8 ground-mounted solar panels. And we've added a variety of other renewable generation sources to that, in addition to 3 types of battery storage. And we see it as a way to do really a couple of things. 1, prove the technology can work, take electrical loads in our building on and off the microgrid. 2, it's a place for the community to come and see and learn about how to become engaged in the energy future. And 3, it's a great chance for us to learn as well about how we can take these learnings out into the market and help other communities or institutions or residential developments create microgrids for themselves.
research focuses on retrofitting suburbia, what to do with the dead malls, the aging big box, the out-of-date office parks. So I've been documenting examples where they have been redeveloped into more sustainable places. Sometimes that means they're simply being reused with more community-serving uses. Sometimes it's redeveloping them, building on top of the parking lots with much denser, more walkable, transit-served mix of uses. And then sometimes it means regreening. We never should have built there in the first place. Let's daylight the creeks that we paved over, put in parks or community gardens. How do we redevelop our least sustainable landscapes into places that enable people to lead much more energy efficient lifestyles?
Horizon Utilities has just announced a new program that's a smart growth inspired connection framework for customers, essentially leveling the playing field for infill development over greenfield development. And we see the role of local distribution companies in advancing smart community energy outcomes as being, how can we shape our policies and programs to better serve the outcomes? And there's many great things that companies like Horizon can do. One of them is energy mapping, and then the other is changing our connection policy to support a more compact urban form, which is a highly desirable outcome for municipalities and for the province of Ontario.
Recently I released a report, a little different than my usual reports, and I'm required to report on energy conservation and efficiency as well as greenhouse gases. What I did is I looked at the two together, and I looked at municipalities as the best example in Ontario where real initiatives are going on to both improve energy efficiency and to reduce greenhouse gases. So we took a review around the problems, looked at some examples, and looked at things that could be done at the provincial level to facilitate more action in municipalities, or looked at barriers in municipal policy that are interfering with municipalities' ability to get on with things.
Communities play an absolutely essential part of the planning that we do. We plan at the provincial level, we plan at the local level, and of course that means that we need to take an integrated approach that looks at conservation needs, transmission distribution opportunities, generation needs in meeting the long-term energy needs of a community.
East Gwillimbury is one of the fastest growing communities in Canada. We're going to quadruple in size in the next 20 years. We're a community now of 23,000 people, and we look to be about 100,000 very, very shortly. So there's a lot of challenges that come with that growth. One of the main features that we would like in East Gwillimbury is district energy, and of course we need density to make that happen. We also need developers in the community that are willing to work with us. As well, we take a look at sustainable housing and industrial, commercial, and even our employment facilities that must be sustainably built.
Our research shows that people end up making location decisions based on incomplete information. A good example is the so-called affordability index that takes a ratio of housing expenses to income and says try and keep it under 30%. Now the problem is, as you get further and further away from a convenient and energy efficient location, the price of housing does go down, but the cost of transportation goes up because you need a car or two or three. As a result, the cost of transportation is a hidden extra that can actually double the cost of a location. Our main point is that if Canadian cities are going to meet their ambitious goals for energy efficiency, sustainability, and resilience, they have to start by putting the information together so people can see what the real cost of living is, place by place, and adjust accordingly.
In the City of Edmonton at the Blatchford project, which is the municipal airport redevelopment, we created a community of 30,000 people that has a completely renewable infrastructure system, and it's based on whole systems design, connecting waste to energy opportunities. The most important thing in The design of sustainable communities is about leadership. It has to be driven from the top by politicians who get a vision. And when they get that vision, it's very powerful. Councils fall in line and allow entrepreneurs, developers, and others to propose solutions that are truly groundbreaking.
Quest is successful because of the quiet, results-oriented, collaborative network that we've established, where people from different backgrounds, different groups feel comfortable coming and differing with each other, but basically sharing an interest in advancing smart energy communities. So I think we've been successful in quietly having an effect, promoting the change in this direction. Let's keep it rolling.